Go.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to HoGaSuSh Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. And we are back here together. And we are four, which of course is lovely to have. Were we four last week? I can't remember if we were 4 or 3 last week.
I think
we
had
were
4. We had
last week.
Was it David?
Yeah. Oh no, it was. Was it Afefe? It was. Wasn't it Afefe last
That's
week?
right. That's right.
That was it.
Yeah,
That was it.
She was great.
Afefe last week, and I was in Gran Canaria, back home now. And of course, we have Lady G over here looking gorgeous in gold. We have Sheila here down under in what would normally be Lena's place. Lena we're still with the show, guys. She just wanted to let you know the time zone that she's in is so rubbish. She cannot attend while she's in Turkey, but of course it is wonderful to have Susan-Lynn back with us. And we always have a blast, don't we, ladies? Particularly when Susan-Lynn's on, we often get some very interesting things that happen in the live show.
You guys have a blast all the time. All the time. This place is the place to be.
We do crack ourselves up.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be funny. And you know what? We have to have a little giggle amongst the absolute bonkers. So before we start the show, so I've got the show here, of course, all here. But one thing that we need to talk about before we begin is now, of course, you folks will know this. And do you remember I said I was saying Jupiter, transiting Jupiter is on Trump's Saturn. Do you remember natal Saturn? And I said Jupiter is squatting there, and I said these are going to be the most important 7 weeks of Trump's life. And if there's any time that the wheels are going to come off, is probably now. Oh my goodness, the wheels are flying off in every direction. I heard that I've not even had time to keep up with his douchebaggery. Apparently he's been doing hundreds of texts and stuff, tweets from Truth Social. So I'll go clockwise. Lady G, what is your perspective on Trump's and the GOP's breakdown? And then Susan, and then Sheila.
Oh yeah, he's totally lost his mind and just is, he's like the trapped animal, just pacing back and forth, and he can't get out of it, and so he's just lashing out at everyone and everything, and it's not going to serve him well. So yeah, he's on his way, the great slide. Yeah,
on his way out. Indeed. And Susan, what's your perspective? What hits are you getting on this breakdown?
Well, I agree 100% with Lady G. And I would say something that's even a little bit more unique for me is the fact that the media is starting to cover some of his breakdowns. Before they would cover for him. Well, like we saw, he was sleeping, I think, literally sleeping, and Hegseth was just going on and on. But in the past, I think Fox News or other news agencies would just go to something else or crop him out. But now they're starting to play it. So I think it plays to everything you guys are saying. The wheels are coming off the bus. And now the media is saying, he's not our man anymore. We're getting ready to get rid of him.
Indeed. And Sheila, what's your perspective on the duck l'orange breakdown? Get crispy duck l'orange, as I sometimes call it. Yeah. What's your perspective?
I love that visual.
Well, it is his final countdown. We are definitely watching. I have two perspectives. Number one, how dare the Republicans sit here and do this to the American people, where we watch the deterioration of a president, right? Without them saying anything or doing anything about it. That is just like abuse of the whole country, for one. My other perspective is, if I was a professor in college, this guy would be the perfect classic narcissistic personality that I could literally teach college kids for years. He has given us a perspective into narcissism and craziness and trying to be a dictator. I mean, he's a classic teachable moment for all of our students. I mean, we have at least that, but I think it's just insufferable that we have to suffer through this, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And And it seems, from my perspective on this, is that the way everything is set up, it's all about popularity and power, isn't it? Popularity and power. And none of these people in the media, the billionaires, or all of the ones who have propped up this charade, none of them actually like Trump. They've never liked Trump.
No.
But they're like, aha, he's popular, so we're going to use his popularity to get what we want. But now the stench is becoming too much. You know, the rotten fish, you know, the fog and smoke is all coming off him. And now they're starting to abandon because they realize that they can't use him anymore to be that spellcaster that they wanted. And inwardly, I think, you know, Trump is really feeling it. You ladies may or may not know, but I had a psychic hit the other day. Donald Trump came to me for a tarot reading. Did you see that?
I saw your video. I was like glued to the screen. I was like, oh.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was just minding my own business. And who should come through? Trump for a tarot reading. And the way I interpret that is that I knew this guy is in trouble. He was in trouble. And the card, like I said, this middle card, I was talking to a friend of mine, who's also a dear client and a friend of mine. And she said, you need to draw that card that came out. One of the cards I pulled out, it came out like, so imagine this is my deck. And when I pulled out the deck, it came out like that big. And it was like 3 golden pyramids kind of circling. It was like a 3D holographic card with these golden sands of the Sahara, and in the middle was like this kind of emerald sort of eye. It wasn't an eye quite, but it had that energy. And there was this kind of, I can't call it geometric, but this kind of jaggedy black outline. And I just knew whatever this card, it's not been seen in any public tarot deck. It was something very occult, hidden, Illuminati stuff. And I realized, I was like, whoever's controlling Trump, they have got him like this. He is controlled. And it's like he knows what he's doing is really bad, but he can't help himself. And I think his soul is starting to kind of try to claw its way out. Anyway, thoughts on that, ladies, and then we'll start the show.
I think you said it perfectly.
I think you said it perfectly. You guys got to go watch this video because you had taken a nap. You were like, I don't normally take, I took this nap, and then what in the heck just happened? Like, it's a great video.
Thank you. Thank you. And I don't normally get dreams at that time of the day. It's normally 4 a.m. I normally get those dreams. So I was completely unsuspecting. You would have seen
like
the
a visitation.
Yeah, the doorbell was going, everything. It was a nightmare. But
like multiple times you had people coming to your door. You had to get up and go answer it. It was like you kind of paused the timeline. Like you kind of got out. You know how we have NDEs, you know, you kind of jump out of the timeline. I feel like they kind of opened up this portal for you to get this visual, this 3D cinematic visual. Like I think it was a visitation. I think you connected to the big guns.
Ooh, well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens as things transpire. All right, let's dive in. So the first question that we have, and thank you, by the way. So this is coming from Maureen Pemberton. 1 card pull. And I mean, as if the situation in Venezuela wasn't bad enough, and we've got lots on Pete Hegseth, by the way. Oh my God. But this is coming from Maureen Pemberton, and she says, hi, Hogarth and Stellar crew. You keep us all sane and well informed. My question is, what will be the outcome of the standard between Nigeria and the US? So, you know, duck orange to try and distract everyone from Epstein, which of course isn't working. He's also been talking about not only Venezuela, but Nigeria. As will the US will invade and try and create a new Iraq. situation, will Africa eventually be fully in control of its resources and power given the past colonial exploitation? Both Congo and I think they said, meant to write Sudan, are in the middle of wars due to greed and theft from natural resources. So I think in a way there are two questions in there. So let's just see. Does one card pull, does the current Trump regime have genuine ambitions for Nigeria and its resources? There we are. One card pull. And we'll be starting with Lady G, clockwise as usual. Nigeria. The USA. Any plans? All right, there we are. So after 3, and then of course Susan will be using her gifts. Oh, you got a card as well. Perfect.
I'll throw a card.
Perfect. So 1, 2, 3.
Huh.
Ooh. All right, Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Well, 9 of Pentacles. He's always out for the grift for the money. Always. Same thing Venezuela is after the oil, after the money.
Gosh. There's no depth to this man, is there? There's no depth. Susan, how do you interpret your card?
I got the King of Pentacles. So, you know, yes, I agree, except for the king. He thinks he's the king, you know, and he thinks he's a dictator. He wants to be a dictator. So, yes, wherever the money is, that's where you're going to find him.
Wow. Wow. Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
And I got the Moon. He may be after all the money, but this wackadoodle is not ever going through anything the right way. I mean, that's the thing is his value of who he is as a human being is literally based on his banking account, and he's just delusional. He can never figure out how to make him feel good that day. He just can't. So he's delusional with the money and wanting all of that. So that's what I picked up on.
Right. Very good. I've got the Knight of Cups. So, which is normally the card of charm, diplomacy, all of these kind of things. But it can also be the shadow of this card can be the disloyal knight, the one that proclaims love, but it's not really true. I feel like it's kind of like, well, if I could get Nigeria, I will. You know, why not? If I've got Venezuela, why not Nigeria? Yeah. But I think it's also stuff that he's putting out to make us not look at Epstein, not look at this, that, and the other. I think Trump's days are numbered. But if he can, on his way out the door, then he'll try. But, you know, like you said, his esteem is based in his money. Crazy man. Crazy, crazy man. All right, let's go to question number 2. Where have I written it? First question. Oh, here we are. So this is coming from Patricia Franzino. Thanks so much, Patricia, for your question. And she's normally a moderator here as well. And we'll also bring in the audience too. And this is more about Reagan. I think this is quite interesting. One card pull again. She says, since Reagan, there has been a pattern of Republican administrations having a negative economic performance and Democratic administrations having to manage an economic recovery over and over and over. Will Republican voters begin to see this pattern that culminates in the top 1% receiving tax breaks that regular people need? And will it bring forth more votes for Democratic candidates? So basically, this is part of the Reaganomics legacy, which was also helped with Margaret Thatcher. And Republicans consistently damage the economy and give to the rich. And the question is, will people wake up? Are they waking up, and will it lead to more Democrats? So one card pull, and let's see what you get. And we'll be starting with you, Susan. Let's see. Oh, will they wake up? Are they waking up? Are they waking up?
Really the $1 million question.
Yeah. right? So when you're ready, after 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Ooh. How do you interpret your card, Susan? The 3 of Wands.
3 of Wands, looking for help. What I feel like is we're looking for a new leader. And I think that, you know, the MAGAs, the Republicans, they understand. You know, I think their main problem is they're racist. Number one, that just get that out of the way.
Yeah.
And then once you get that out of the way, if they have enough economic pain, then they're starting to say, hey, maybe I could get over some things. Now, I'm not saying that they could get over maybe having a Black person as a president, but if I think they're looking for a leader. They're looking for a leader who's not a MAGA, who's maybe an independent, who's maybe somebody they could deal with. I don't know if they could go all the way to Pete Buttigieg or to Kamala Harris, but I think yes, given the right leader, they would. But that begs the question, do we need to bend our morals and our ethics to get them on board? Because I don't feel like that I need to do that. But I think that's what they're looking for.
Oh, fascinating reading. Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Well, I got the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is that empathy, that wisdom woman, you know, that woman that gets out there and tries to rally the troops up to see how things go. Let's go now, save all of the animals and the children in the world, right? However, if we're talking about that base, in order for it to be racist, they have to have a severe lack of empathy. I mean, it has to be drastic. And so when we're talking about a Queen of Cups who has the empathy and then the wisdom, are they starting to see something? I'm not sure. But there's somebody out there getting to them. And I'm not sure who it is, but there's a woman, some sort of voice that's getting to them on a level that's a little bit more than what we have been doing, you know, the political atmosphere. I wish I need to find out, because I first got a sickness when I first got the question and pulled the card. So I was kind of curious if this is, I mean, I literally felt nauseous and sickness. So I'm just putting that out there just to be, you know, transparent. And maybe it is MTG. You're right. Maybe that's the reason why I feel nauseous and sickness about it, because maybe she's the one. But
that's what came to mind.
That's a whole nother video, right? So
there she is, pretending to be somebody new, right? She's rebranding.
That is true. So that maybe this is the reason why this is showing up, and it kind of made me sick because I don't like her, right? So
exactly.
Interesting. That is interesting.
Indeed. Well, my card, I've got a simple reading of this card. It is the 8 of Pentacles. They need to work on themselves. Yeah? Do the work, biatches. Do the work on yourself, on your culture, on your ideas, on your beliefs. Build something new, build something worthwhile. This is the card of working hard, diligence. A lot of these people that have voted this way, they have to work on themselves, and they need to work on improving America and stop being so selfish and stupid. Lady G?
Well, I got the Knight of Wands. So I think they see all this stuff going on, and especially Trump, who they've been great leader. They see him lying through his teeth about the economy and the greatest it's ever been and all of this stuff. And they know they barely can keep a roof over their heads. You know, that odd word groceries that most people know what it is. And they know how much they're bringing home versus what they had. So I think that in this case, it's moving them forward with these actions of actually having to navigate the economy and seeing what's under the surface that they haven't seen before. So they're starting to wake up.
Yeah, they're starting to wake up. I'm going to bring in some of the audience here. So Peggy says should be a great show tonight. We got here, welcome Susan-Lynn. It's gonna get spicy, they say. What's this? Okay, we hear what's that? Adidas? Adidas?
Yes.
Will you wear Adidas?
Adidas.
I've not had that question.
Adidas. It's a brand. It's a name brand.
Yeah,
Adidas
but
is
yeah, but I wonder why they're wondering if I will wear it. Anyway, Campbell says, when is the moon? A full moon looks big tonight. I think it's actually pretty soon. Actually, Taurus, a good rock and roll road show. Weather stuff here. So Gail says minus 18 degrees. Darn, it's cold here in Winnipeg. You've got minus 18 degrees in Winnipeg. Ouch. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. And then some people saying looks like a great team tonight. Or here, Gillian saying full moon is tomorrow. Super moon. I was actually seeing the moon today when I was doing my consultations today. Oh my God, they were. Shout out to the clients today. Off the charts.
Nice.
Off the charts. Let me tell you, I get a lot of, I'm just going to say this off the record now. Well, I'm putting it on the record. I get a lot of magical people that come to me. This is it, you know, I get a lot of the shamans and the magicy, witchy, wizardy people. Ridiculous. It was, yeah. Anyway, very interesting. Full moon also helps. All right, let's move to, this is going to be our first full card pull of the night. And I thought this merited a full card pull. Bit of a longer one. Make sure I've got everything right. So this is coming from Denise Ferguson. So, you know, she likes to ask some good questions. All right. She says, Hogarth, this might be something to address on your financial channel, but let's just dig in. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell is set to retire on the 31st of January next year. Trump appointed Stephen Miran, a loyalist, to the board in September and will be Trump's appointee for Reserve Chair. Just like Project 2025, Miran wrote a paper on how to dismantle the Federal Reserve, giving the president unprecedented control. The corruption is just ridiculous. So will Senate Republicans approve Miran's nomination? If approved, it's projected the dismantling will happen quickly and could be what you're seeing, Hogarth, in March of next year. So let's do a full card pull on that. This time, Sheila, you'll be first. And this is basically, will Miran come in and dismantle the Federal Reserve, which of course has been a backbone of American and international fiscal policy since, when was it created, 1920 something or what have you? So a long time. I think it's over 100 years now or thereabouts. So will Miran destroy the Federal Reserve? My God. Full card pull. Federal Reserve.
Are you sure you want me to go first?
Oh, do you want to? Don't worry.
I can go. I was just trying to be funny. Yeah. It was a hard sell, apparently. Oh my gosh! I got out my true crime cards to see what the deal is, and I clarify. So the first up was the sun, looking into it. You know, the sun, the optimism, the vitality, the abundance, sun, like, look at all we got. It kind of reminds me of walking into one of those chambers that have gold, and the sun looks like the sun, gold, right? And crime of passion came with that. So it does make me a little sick. I have been having this feeling for quite some time that they have been literally skimming off the top for quite a while, stealing. So that feeling hasn't gone away ever since they got in there. And then I got the 9 of Swords, the regret. It's a lot of regret. And I got you know, an entertainment person, but I got serial killer with the regret. So it kind of tells me that, yeah, they have this big grandiose idea that they're going to be able to hoard all the money. They're going to take it and do whatever they want for it. But at some point in time, their greed's going to catch up with them. And it's going to mess with them really, really bad, because I got the discipline and power card. The King of Swords, discipline and power, and they're going to be removed. They're not going to do what they think they're going to do. They're going to be cut off at the whatever, and their plans are going to be taken out. And I also got the Page of Wands. After all of their discipline, after all of that goes on, I literally get the Page of Wands, the optimism and all of that after that's all done. But fake death, that's the card that scares me a little. Like, they're going to be able to say, no, you can't do that. They give them restrictions, but then all of a sudden, you know, what's creeping in the back door? It just kind of made my heart sink for a little bit. So my optimism is this, that, you know, the flares, they may not be able to get to all of it, but there's always somebody at the door trying to steal our money. Always. We have to fight and have that shield up at all times. So there's a little hope in there, but we know we can never let that shield down. So that's what I got.
All right. Interessante. Well, you know what? My cards are usual. Like, I feel like my cards are like graffiti, particularly when it comes reading on these guys, because it's just so explicit. So here we are. First card out is the Four of Wands. And as you know, this is the card that represents, well, the White House. Yeah, the White House. So we know this directive is coming from the White House. Pure and simple, nice and clear. Look at this. If we look here, we get the Justice card. I associate the Justice card. It's not just legalities. I associate, yes, with legal proceedings, but also contracts to be written, important contracts to be signed. It's literally talking about the legalities as well. I think this is also talking about the institution of the Fed itself. I don't think it's SCOTUS in this instance. I think this is the Fed that has been this arbiter, weighing the scales of the US and global economy for a long time now. But that's showing up in the obstacle position. But look who shows up in the middle, just in case we weren't sure of who was being referred to in the White House. Star card. And as you know, this is my card for who? Declarange in particular. I feel like I've tainted this card, but look, guys, when you're doing personal readings, if the star card shows up for a person, accept the traditional meaning. It's just, for me, the shadow of this card is become the narcissist. Yeah, the person that wants the lights, camera, action, the spotlight on them. This is Declarange. He's so, you know what? He's camp. Trump is so camp. You know when the revelations came out on the emails of him, you know, the blubber boy, yeah, the bubba stuff. Yeah, that's why I call him Bubba Blowhard now. What did he do? He blared out Phantom of the Opera from the White House. I mean, he's so camp. He's so camp and over the top. So this is Declarange's narcissism. If we look here, the King of Pentacles, again, this is about the money men. The real problem, Declarange is the one that is out front. Yeah, the blonde out front to try and, you know, dazzle everyone and all of this kind of stuff. But really, it's the lobbyists, it's the billionaires, it's those that are financially invested in what he can do for them. That is the problem. The amount of times the King of Pentacles comes up is remarkable. However, we get the Ten of Wands, so, which is the card of what? Feeling overburdened, overworked, carrying the load inefficiently. So what I think will happen is, if Trump gets his wish, it's probably not going to work out. There's going to be too much of an ordeal, too much of something to carry. I don't think the markets are going to tolerate it very well. And it's just not going to work out. So if I were them, I would be like, leave well alone. The Fed is far from perfect, but messing it up, not a good idea. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, what's driving the whole thing is about the Knight of Pentacles, the long term, looking at this. At the center of it, we have the nightmare scenario, the concern about the actions in hand, what they're going to do. What's crossing it is justice.
Oh my God.
I see the balance of things. Now he wants to move this, but it's going nowhere. Okay. They want to try to, as usual, get away with something, but that's not moving. So the energy coming into it is about the wealth, but things are up in the air with it. Potential future, the world is just battle weary with these guys. You know, the whole thing. Above it, they're trying to juggle this, but they're out in the cold when it comes to it in the end, because the foundation is a new action, hang it. So, yeah.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to work. Doesn't look like he's going to get in.
Susan, how do you interpret your cards?
Well, I think it's really interesting how I got the justice, Lady G got the justice, and Hogarth got the justice. Me and Hogarth both got burden. So I think it's interesting, but I also think it's not black and white. So I started out with the justice card. I don't think this is getting justice. I think this is justice betrayed. Because here's the money. Here's the money. We want the money. We bought the justice. We bought the product. We get the money. We start on a new freaking fool jumping off the cliff. Even the dog is like not going. The Chariot could be choices, but it could be success. To me, this means foolhardy action, like full steam ahead. Let's just go. And also this is the Republicans. Like, they're like, if we do it really quick, nobody can, you know how they flood the zone with crap, and you can't, by the time you get on one thing, they've done 5 other things. So here's the thing. This, I'm just going to give you a few more cards because they were so interesting. The 4 of Cups, you know, lackadaisical, like, I don't know, maybe we'll take this. It'll be fine. Like, trying to make it work. The Devil.
Wow.
The Devil. The Moon. You know, 3 more cards. Look at this, 2 of Swords. This is where they run into trouble. This is where they're like, maybe this isn't going to work, right? Like, maybe they start getting some pushback. I got the burden again. And I ended up with the Queen of Pentacles, which I think leads us back to a female leadership, even if it's not a female person, it's a feminine leadership. So I think the reason I wanted to go through the whole thing is because I think that in the end, there could be some, or it could be that Marjorie Taylor Greene is you know, trying to take some kind of control. And she's out of Congress, so she's really limited herself, really. But I think the money's almost too much for them to. I mean, they have no moral compass. You guys have already said that.
Gosh, isn't it extraordinary, folks, what we're reading on now? Like, what we're reading on, it's just like every pillar, everything that America stood for, the things that people admired America for, is all under attack. These people, they're deluded. They're psychopaths. They've got no sense of national pride. Nothing is sacred to these people. As long as they can, like, it's like in my mind's eye, I see like someone cracking the bone and just like sucking out the marrow as much as they can. They've got no sense of pride in their country or sense of duty or responsibility for what they have. It's just astonishing, and it's not gonna last, is it? It's absolutely not gonna last.
My mother used to tell me, greed will dull the senses of your natural ability to function as a real human being.
Wow.
She used to tell me that a lot. She goes, greed will dull all of your senses. And this is exactly what I'm seeing across the board. Their greed is literally smashing and dulling all of their other senses. They're not getting anything else through.
Yeah. Yeah, it's astonishing. And it's a sickness. It's definitely a sickness. All right. It's time to talk about Hegseth. Yeah. Oh God, Hegseth. And we're gonna have some Shakespeare as well. And so actually I've had to number the Hegseth bits and bobs. So I'm going to read several bits that attest to Hegseth, and then we'll have 2 1-card pulls. So someone, let's, oh God, which one is the most relevant one? Let's do this one first. So Hegseth here, this is coming from Trina. Thank you, Trina, so much for your question. Good evening, Hogarth, Susan-Lynn, Lady G, and Sheila. Will any of the felons' cabinet be arrested and put on trial for war crimes and human rights abuses? And will anyone involved with ICE face consequences for their deplorable actions? Good question. I'm upset, frustrated, and angry that the UN and many other countries' leaders have not been more vocal in their condemnation of the US government and their actions. Will they ever speak up and possibly impose selective sanctions on the US? So actually, maybe we do that one afterwards. And then let's do more of because I thought it was mainly Pete Hegseth, but that was a little bit slightly different. This is Denise Ferguson here. So Vice Admiral Mitch Bradley, who Hegseth claims gave the second order to strike the Venezuelan survivors, will testify in a classified briefing to Congress on Thursday. Will he testify truthfully? And what will be the outcome for both him and Hegseth? And I'm going to go to the next bit, which is Claudia also asked, will Hegseth be indicted for his murder of the fisherman? So you see that's on the same vein. And then Denise again here, in yesterday's presser, Hegseth's nameplate spelled his name SS Secretary Hegseth. I mean, instead of Secretary Hegseth, was this an error or on purpose? So let's kind of put all of that together and just ask, will Hegseth face consequences for what's happened with the Venezuelans? And then we can see if there'll be wider consequences for everyone else. So 1-card pull, Hegseth. Then we'll do consequences for others and then Shakespeare on Hegseth. All right. 1-card pull. Oh my God, the things that we are seeing. That's astonishing. All right, so I think it's me going first this time because Sheila went first last time. So after 3, when you're ready. All right, Hegseth. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look what I've got.
Oh, you got the moon.
Yeah, got the moon. What do you have, Lady G? You're looking at. See, just have a peek. Oh, well. All right, so look, I've got the moon. He's a lunatic.
It's true.
There's no other word for it. Pete Hegseth is a lunatic. A drunk-addled lunatic, drunk on power. And here, the thing that I always focus on here with this card is here you have the domestic dog, which reveals our duties that we owe to society, our standard behavior. Here is the wildness of the wolf. These 2 pillars are the pillars of truth, and the challenge is to walk between these 2 pillars of truth whilst in the middle of moonlight. But if you look here, the lobster that's coming out, I associate this with the id and the deep unconscious, and you see it goes in the direction of the wolf. Pete Hegseth is out of control. He is indulging his id, and his id just wants to damage and kill. That's how I'm interpreting that. Lady G?
Well, I got Key Largo, and as you can see, he's standing there in the bar. and in the military things. And I picked out also another one. I got the 10th house authority. So I think the authorities are, yes, they're going to go after him for the things that he has said in ordering those strikes. So yeah, military stuff is going to, they're going to court-martial him.
Fascinating, fascinating. Susan-Lynn, what do you have?
I have the Two of Wands, and I feel like what I've always gotten with this administration is that it's the mob, and especially this administration. His first administration, he had already fired half the people by now, right? He isn't firing anybody. He's covering for them. He's making excuses. And I think this is the reason, is because the mob, you don't get to just leave the mob, right? You're in, you were made, you had to do some criminal things so that everybody has criminal dirt on everybody. So I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I feel like they're going to transfer him. I think they could, like, remember when they did with, was it Rubio? They just kept giving titles to him. Like, I mean, how many business cards does Rubio have now? How many things does he do? So I think they could take Hegseth and move him somewhere. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. They can't just let this guy go out and write a book. Come on, you're in the mob. You can't just go write a book. You can't just be free. So if it gets hot enough, I feel like they'll put him someplace where they can still watch him. Maybe.
Fascinating. And Sheila, what cards do you have?
Well, of course, I got the literal, it's organized crime.
Ah!
It's organized crime. What does organized crime do? Right? Organized crime is they have something on everybody, and everybody has something on you. That is the exact same thing. You were involved. If you take me down, I'm going to take you down. And then I got the other card was, if something's going to ever happen to Hegseth, it might be just an accident somewhere. And then they would have to then clean it up. He's a drunk.
An extreme possibility. Like,
yeah, they have to clean it up. They have to clean it up. If an accident somewhere, they have to clean it up.
Death earlier? You got faked death earlier.
How many fake deaths,
or how many weird deaths have we seen already?
Yeah.
Really and truly. So yes, that's.
So here's my little like intuition on all of this. I have been having, I don't know, a nightmare, dreams or whatever, of all of the ICE agents getting gathered up and put into prisons. Okay, I have been seeing that, just like the Nazis did when Hitler did. So I've been seeing that quite a bit. But as far as the organized crime guys, they scatter like roaches and they escape most of this stuff. But you know, if you get me, I'll get you. If you get me, I'll get you. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see in this next one card pull.
Before we go, before we go, Hoagie, I want to read this real quick about the movie Largo.
Sure.
The drifter visits the family hotel of a war buddy who was killed in action, only to find that a Chicago mobster and his gang have taken over the place.
Oh my God, y'all. Oh my God. Now what did you get again, Hogarth?
I got the moon card.
You got the moon card. So there you go. Deception.
Yeah.
So this
He's
is
a loony bin.
This all makes sense to me. I think Sheila's right. He goes out a window, or like McConnell's sister-in-law was supposedly intoxicated and drove her Tesla into a pond, and the door's locked and she couldn't get out. These things happen. They're just accidents.
Yeah, absolutely. And because especially when everyone knows that Hegseth is kind of fond of spirits, it's like,
yes, he's an alcoholic.
Make it easy.
Make it easy. Wow.
And they'll leak it to the press. It'll be an official story, and then they'll leak it to get a lot of, and everybody will believe it. Everybody will jump on that. You're right.
Right.
Sympathy. Absolutely. Oh, poor thing. He left the wife.
Indeed. Now let's do because we've got a bit more to squeeze in, and there's a question on the winter solstice. We've got one coming up on Melania. I think we need to take a look on Melania because we've not read on her for a while. So one card pull, but really one card pull on this one. For will there be some comeuppance for these people? And then we will look at, after that, we've got questions on the AI bubble, one card pull on that, and then we'll try and get Melania and something on the winter solstice. So this is from Trina. So going back to Trina, good evening, Hogarth.
Were we gonna do Shakespeare on Hegseth?
Yes. Yeah, we are, but I wanted to also
okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Because this is why we do the one card pulls, so we can get more questions done, because this is the wider question on will there be a comeuppance, yeah? So will any of the felons cabinet be arrested or put on trial for war crimes and human rights abuses, yeah? Will anyone involved with ICE face consequences for their deplorable actions? So one card pull, and then we'll do Shakespeare, and then we'll try and squeeze in a couple more before the show ends. And it will be Lady G going first this time. All right, so let's see here. Will there be consequences? There be consequences. All right. And I've just seen as well, we have 3,000 over 3,000 people watching live. So thank you so much for everyone. Please be sure as well to like and subscribe and share and hype as well if you can, to help the show grow. All right, after 3. 1, 2, 3. Lady G first.
Ooh, well.
What will be consequences?
Yeah, lightning strikes, tower. Don't need to say much on that.
Yes.
Right. Looks like something's going to be happening there. Thank you. Susan?
And there's so many windows to fall out of too, Lady G.
Exactly. Yeah, they got a lot of them.
There's a lot of windows. I mean, we could blame it on the lightning. I got the 5 of Pentacles, so out in the cold. But I feel like this is the administration and the ICE. I have always seen ICE being held accountable. I've seen them being hunted like the Nazis were. Yeah. Maybe it takes 20 years. Maybe it takes 30 years. Your family's going to turn you in, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. People are going to turn you in because you're a monster. So that's ICE. And then I think you're right. I think one of you said they're just going to disappear like roaches. I think the cabinet, look at Roger Stone, look at Steve Bannon. They were involved decades ago. They disappear and then they come back when the time is right. So, but I think they're going to be pariahs. So I think they're going to be out in the cold.
Oh, Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Well, my card interprets the both of them. They're going to be seen as evil. They're going to be seen as the devil. They're going to be labeled. They're going to have that label on them, and so therefore, they're not going to be safe anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And I actually get a card which on the surface seems quite sweet, because it's the 6 of Cups, which is about nostalgia and looking back to the past and stuff like that. But what I think this means is I think people are getting a real longing for good old-fashioned justice, law and order, and they realize they can't go out voting, for all of this evil and expect good things to happen. So I think this is a longingness to a return to purity and innocence. So when I put that all together, but it looks like, yes, there will be justice will come, I think is the answer to that. Because once the head guy falls and everyone's looking at the economic disaster of all of this, people have to justify their actions to their family, let alone the family that they've let go of and the friends they've let go of, but the family that they've persuaded to join them in this wickedness, and it's all falling apart. So I think it's eventually the families will probably dob them in. Oh, Lady G?
Yeah, when you pulled that card, the children, what I got from it immediately was when they zip tied the children.
Oh, of course.
Cold, half naked, some of these children, and ripping them from the parents and stuff.
Wow.
A bridge too far. That's yeah.
It was
Really
the
good
children.
point.
And the families they separated.
Yeah. Families,
That's such
yeah,
a good
literally.
point.
That's because
Great
this is
point.
also kind of like associated with family as well.
Yes,
They just
great
went
point.
too far.
Yeah.
They've gone too far. Right. Let's see what the bard has to say about Hegseth. So of course, Susan, you are our guest this evening, our special guest this evening. So you get to tell me, as you know, I will flick through the book and you just tell me to stop. You just say stop when you feel it, and then I will stop at that point and we'll see what the bard thinks of Hegseth.
Stop.
Let's have a look. Oh, this is very interesting. Yeah, this is very interesting. The 2 pages here, in a way, is really quite straightforward. So the first one is from Measure for Measure. And Shakespeare just says, an adulterous thief, a hypocrite and virgin violator.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's what he says about Hegseth.
Wow. Well, that's about right.
That's about right.
Party.
And then it says here in the Winter's Tale is on the next page, and it says, she has been sluiced in absence, and his pond fished by his next neighbor. So if you think about what is that all about?
Is this Trump and Bubba? Is this?
Well, I have a feeling. Yeah.
Well,
it's really interesting because she has been sluiced in his absence and his pond fished by his next door neighbor. So this is talking about infidelity. It's saying that, you know, so what that is saying to me is when I read that together, there is, I think Hegseth is also unfaithful.
Oh yeah.
That's how I see it. And I think he likes to dabble around. And he likes to sluice, other people's wives and all of that. I just feel like he's one of these, one of these lectures. But yeah, very interesting. The bard never fails, eh? All right, so that's Pete Hegseth.
Never fails.
Let's ask a question on the AI bubble. We'll make it just a 1-card pull, because I want to get in Melania, who we've not read. Melania's virtually vanished, hasn't she? So be interesting to see what's going on with her and see if we can squeeze in Winter Solstice. So Ashley Song says, will the AI bubble pop? My answer to that is yes, but let's just see what the cards say. Will the AI bubble pop? Will the US economy be in recession anytime soon? Is the unemployment at 4.4% real or fact or fiction? Thanks, Hogarth and friends. So basically, will the AI bubble pop? Everyone's talking about it. I think yes, but let's see what the cards have to say. 1-card pull, and Lady G. Wait, who just went first?
I did.
Right, so Susan, you'll be going first. 1-card pull. AI bubble. AI bubble. AI bubble. This one. All right. After 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, how do you interpret your card, Susan?
Well, I think it's going to pop. It's the 6 of Swords moving away to calmer waters. You can see the water in the foreground is ripply and the water in the background is calmer. So yeah, I think not only is it going to pop, but I think we're going to be moving to more security. Oh, I like that. Interesting. And could that also be some billionaires maybe trying to move to their bunkers, perhaps? Yes, it could be, for sure. Fleeing. Lots of fleeing going on. Yeah, lots of fleeing. Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Well, mine is divorced and final. So whatever Yeah. So whatever is happening and whatever happens, it's like we're having a great big huge breakup over it. It's not working out. Something is just not cohesive with life. It's just not. So there's something going on that we're going to start.
We're going to divorce them, Sheila. We're going to break up with them, divorce them, serve them papers.
Exactly. And we're going to take the mansion and they can have the hoopty. Sure. Oh, no, wait, that was my divorce.
For all our children.
Yeah, that was my divorce. Sorry.
Nice. Well, we want one like you got.
Indeed. So I've got the Emperor here, and I think what this is talking about is the tech oligarchy. Yeah. And all of the people that support them, they think they're emperors. They think they're kings of empires. Yeah. You've got Nvidia, which is now worth reportedly, was it 5 trillion or something like that, which is, 1.5 times the size of the German economy and larger than the entire economy of the continent of Africa, 2 times the size of the economy of Canada. This is ridiculous, folks. Ridiculous. But they don't have the money to back it up. Everyone knows, everyone's admitting it's a bubble. So I think this is to do with the egos of these guys. They think they are emperors, but we all know sometimes the emperor has no clothes. So I don't think it's good. Lady G?
Well, I had to pull a clarifier because what I got was the 6 of Wands of victory. Now, what I got, victory is the owl, so seeing through the dark, more wisdom and strengthening things. And the clarifier that I got was the conjunction of an alliance that's going to be moving this in another direction.
Oh, so do you see it as what I'm picking up is that it pops, but there's a kind of like a fracturing, and like the emperors are going to try and flee, but there's going to be a realignment. Perhaps it may be in global values. There could be some kind of realignment.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, oh God, the time is going in such a flash. What was I going to do after this? Oh, all right. Look. For a bit of fluff, yeah, let's just add in a bit of fluff, because one can't really take Melania too seriously. I'm not so interested in the specifics of this question, and you'll see why, but I think it's good to ask, yeah, because she's the first lady after all. So Jill Kaplan has asked, hello, you lovely group. I enjoy watching and listening to you all. In recent sightings of Melania Trump, she looks very different. I had a little Google. She kind of looked the same to me. But anyway, almost as if not really her. Did she have plastic surgery or on her face recently? Or is this a body double? So we know Melania's had quite a bit of surgery. On that, with the surgery stuff, we know this has happened. But let's do a 1-card pull just to see what is going on with Melania and just how she's feeling about the whole scenario. Because... I mean, she kind of came out to support Trump, but she looked like she had a gun to her head. She looked like a hostage victim to me. But anyway, Melania, what's going on with her? We know she's had surgery and stuff, but really, what's going on with her? And who's first this time? Sorry, who went first last time? So is it Sheila? Yes, so Sheila, you're going first on this one. Melania.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I got 2 cards because I feel the doubleness of her. She has one face out in public and one face behind the scene.
All right, let's take it. So up 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh God.
Oh! Did you see that?
What was it?
Okay. Well, the first one of those is trash. It's trash. And
These
the other
cards
one
are very accurate.
Yeah.
Oh. What?
So she's done. But here, trash. So here, somebody asked me if she has surgery. I mean, her eyes couldn't be more slanted if I've ever seen them in my life. I mean, she can barely open them up anymore. So there's that, you know, how they do with the surgery and stuff. So, and the trash, I mean, she doesn't have any respect. I mean, she walked around those Christmas trees, and we all know she doesn't want to do it. We all know that she's just pretending, and it's just, no, she's just not getting the respect. But this right here, she's done.
Ooh,
she's done. And it is a heavy card. You know, I don't think that she's going to do that, but she's trying to literally sever ties as much as she possibly can. I'm only showing up when I have to. I only have to be there and, you know, to show the face or whatever it is. She understands at some point that she has to support her husband in order to do something, but she's done. Yeah, to get the something. But I just think that she's so superficial. There's not really anything you can read on that makes any sense. She's so superficial.
All right, so because we're running short on time. Look, 9 of Cups, smug merchant. She did it for the money. Simple as that. She did it for the money. I think she's dying inside, but she did it for the money. Lady G?
Well, I got the 6 of Cups, and what's underneath driving it all, she is mentally tied up because she had a lot of things going on with Epstein. Yeah, before Trump. And so she is very much in the Epstein stuff. And again, she's just mentally tied up with all of this.
Wow. And Susan-Lynn, what card do you have? You get the final say.
We got the moon, howling at the moon. She's not who she says she is. Deception, duplicity. I hear the word duplicity as well. And you know, you have the 2 canines that are very different, 2 different sides of the same person. Yeah. And I do think it's a body double. And she is back in the White House recently more. They have been showing her on walking him to Air Force One like this, trying to keep him upright. And she's got those heels in the grass, whoever she is. So, yeah.
Fascinating. Yeah. Well, we have run to time. Can you believe it is gone in a flash? We'll have to, I'd maybe tackle the solstice question in one of my other shows, but we covered a lot of ground, ladies, tonight. Anyway, we got through a lot of questions tonight. So I want to say thank you to everyone that joined us and left comments, and you know, your love and support for the show, much appreciated. Susan-Lynn, it was great having you on again, and of course you are welcome back. As you know, post email, I see when you are next free. But guys, Christmas is a coming.
It is a coming. Who do we have on next week?
I've got the sheet. So
I like the Easter eggs.
So this one, actually, Sheila, on what's it? Next week, you do have a rest next week, my dear. Yeah, just
okay.
You do have a rest.
That's good.
Because you've been stepping up really well, of course, to help cover for Lena not being in. But that's yeah. So you're off next week, but we do have David, and I think we've got Afefe as well. It might be David and Afefe next week. And then Lena should be back on the 24th of December. However, that's Christmas Eve, folks. So it's like, I'm not sure about that one. I've got a family dinner and whatnot. And then the week after that, it's Christmas Eve. It's 31st of December.
No, New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, yeah.
New Year's Eve. So we will see. We will see. We'll play it by ear. But thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. And we will see you, of course, next week. Brilliant show, ladies. Well done. So much variety tonight. And we will catch you all soon. All right. So big love and bye-bye for now. Bye-bye, everyone. Cheers.